This week has been an interesting one, I think, primarily because I asked myself a few questions regarding training, and aside from that, I think I also questioned a few of my own personal beliefs. And the training ones started after listening to Ivan Juric um, in his podcast with Fitness FAQs. Now, a lot of things he said resonated quite well with me regarding why we train, basically, because I think that's something I related to in the past. So, for a long while now, I think I've been driven by a lot of the result side of the equation, not necessarily because of the process side, though I know for a fact I enjoy that a lot more. I enjoy exploring, I enjoy tinkering, I do what I have to do in order to learn and to improve. And I think I derailed from that path around maybe 2 to 3 years ago when I fell into the natural bodybuilding community, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it was worth experimenting with. It's just that I sort of shot myself in the foot by doing that because I couldn't really do what it took in order to get those results because my mentality simply did not meet that concept halfway. Um, I feel like I am more driven by the desire to experiment and to do things the way I want rather than having a rigid system in place. And I think that's something worth considering whenever one chooses to do something. I think the way people react to things is different based on their own experiences. Some people might like to do things on the fly and adjust as needed. Some people need to adhere to a rigid structure that they follow from start to end. And I have realized I'm a bit of both. Too much flexibility allows me to just spin my wheels indefinitely, and too much rigidity will make me hate something. And I don't think that should be the case. I think I should allow myself enough flexibility in order to overcome whatever overuse injuries I have been facing. Um, that's something I didn't do in the past. And I think I need to also be rigid enough to stick to something in the long run. So, yeah, I still have a lot to learn by doing those things. And this week has been an interesting one in terms of training because I started the week quite well. Um, I did some comfortable front squats. I did some unilateral deadlift variation, and those felt quite good. However, the second upper body session of this week felt miserable because I could not do the weighted pull ups as I wanted. I couldn't do weighted dips at the level I wanted. I faced some anxiety about recording in the gym because it was sort of overcrowded, and I'm not sure how most people deal with this. I simply chose not to record in that situation because I felt a bit self-conscious about it, and I tried to just avoid the situation entirely. Aside from that, I managed to do some rows, which I was pretty happy with. However, the form isn't the cleanest, and this isn't really the strongest I've been on this exercise. However, because I neglected a lot of training in the past couple of months, it started showing, and yeah, this is usually what happens. Strength decays, muscle mass gets lost, so to say. But yeah, overall, this session has been the worst, and now that I look at it, it still was a good thing that I went and did some work. I managed to do like 3 reps with 20 kilos added on the rings chin-ups, and that's okay. I also managed to do some reps with a 10 plate added. I think it was a bit strange because my body weight dipped by about 2 kilos on this day, so something went on there, and I didn't really have the energy to put into training. I did some behind the neck presses because I want my shoulders to get used to this type of position. My overhead has been weak for a long while now, and I think I need to put in some serious training in it to get it back up. My best was, I think, an 85 kilo push press at around 78 kilo body weight, a 72 kilo strict press at 75 kilos, so there's still a long way to go. And this is the last training session of the week. It's been nice. I managed to hit 120 kilo Zercher squat, and I followed up by breaking my rep PRs on this. As you can see, the depth isn't quite ATG, as I would do some other squatting variations, but it was good enough, I would say, for this exercise. I find it to be a bit awkward because my elbows hit my mid thighs, and I can't really go through the full range in the squat rack with the safeties in this manner because I also hit them. So I think I will have to learn to stay a bit more upright. I then followed with some deficit deadlifts. I hit 150 for 2 sets of 1. I missed a 170. It felt a lot heavier than I anticipated. However, I think there's still a lot of progress to be made there. I tried some heavy Bulgarian split squats, and I managed to hit 1 rep at 90 kilos on my left leg. However, I somehow lost balance on the second set on my right leg, and yeah, that wasn't fun. I think that was a bit stupid and dangerous. But yeah, it is what it is. I think I shouldn't really attempt any heavy work. I think this exercise will stay in the moderate rep range for now, and I will load it progressively until it stalls. Like, it will probably stall around 80 kilos for 6-10 reps. I'm not sure. I managed to get 10 reps on the 50 kilos, and I still had some in the tank. However, I didn't want to push because this exercise gets my adductors quite sore, and sometimes it overlaps with the next lower body session. So until that sensation goes away, I will stay shy of failure basically on this one. Yeah, I also think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I questioned a few decisions in my life, and those also sort of relate to training. For a while now, I think I went into the gym to channel my inner anger, and I think that's quite a big issue if left to its own devices, because I don't think I enjoyed my training in a while. because of it. I would always go angry and somehow mess myself up because I put all that energy into breaking my body basically. And even though it didn't do a lot of damage, it had the potential to go through an injury. And I know some people just channel their anger into progress. I can't really say I relate to that. I used to be quite a calm lifter in the past, so most of my progress has been done that way. I feel like I regressed quite a bit when anger took over in the gym. But I think these past few days have felt a lot better from that point of view, and I need to learn to control that. So in this video, I just decided to push my limits a bit. However, the form isn't really the greatest. I did, I think, 15 reps at this weight. So the machine weighs around 47 kilos itself. And I added 3.5 plates per side. So that equals 187 kilos. I'm not sure how close that is to the actual reality. But anyway, my calves got pumped from the single set, and after that set, I decided to also do some leg press on it because why not? And at the end of it, I almost felt sick because of the exertion. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not used to doing leg press, so this was quite painful by the end. Anyway, I think this week took me by surprise in terms of how I felt and how training went. And I think I'm going to do 1 or 2 videos to summarize my training from now on, because I realized it's not really feasible for me to edit on a day-to-day basis whenever the training session happens. So yeah, I'm not sure how relevant that is. Anyway, if anyone is actually watching this till the end, thank you for basically listening me to rambling for about 12 minutes straight while saying nothing.